All right, everyone. Thanks to the modern way of politics, hypocrisy is increasingly like the thing that I report on, I think, the most, specifically from the legacy media and political figures. Take a look at the article, link in the description, archived, of course, here. Use archive.today. I used to also say Wayback Machine. They appear to have cucked, so don't use them anymore. They've decided to fuck around with their own archives for political reasons, to literally censor things. Absolutely not what archival is meant to be about. They've decided not to be neutral anymore, so fuck them. In order to defend Joe Biden, the New York Times has an article up right now. Again, take a look at this, calling the believe all women thing a right-wing trap, a canard. That is very, very funny. So now even the Me Too thing is right-wing, because I could have sworn it actually came out of the far left, generally speaking. Yes, it is absolutely being used by people who support Trump, because they are pointing out the hypocrisy of the legacy media spending several years crucifying any man about which there was any allegation, saying hashtag believe her, hashtag me too, declaring that you didn't need evidence at all, declaring that no evidence is needed, essentially. This is the claim, the initial claim from years ago, Weinstein and Cosby and all this other stuff, and oftentimes it involved politics and celebrities. The claim was that if a woman made an allegation against a man, you had to believe her or you were a sexist and you support rape. That's essentially what it was. They also claimed that it didn't matter if it was rape or sexual assault or something, even being mildly inappropriate, saying something mildly inappropriate, catcalling, all of that fell under the same umbrella and was just as bad as if you pinned somebody against the wall and raped them repeatedly. This is what they appear to have claimed for several years. Joe Biden, we have photographic evidence of him and even a self-admission of him, and the New York Times trying and failing to cover for him while insinuating this is all true, that he repeatedly has made females of all ages, by the way, feel uncomfortable, that he has touched them in ways that they were uncomfortable with, that he has kissed people unsolicited in a manner, in a workplace environment, which is inappropriate. We know this. Instead, they choose to focus on Tara Reade because what she's alleging is literal sexual assault. It's not the same as catcalling. Now, reasonable people can tell the difference. There is a big difference between raping someone or sexually assaulting someone and catcalling them. There is a big difference. Third waivers don't believe this. I don't really care. What I have a problem with, though, is the hypocrisy here and the foolishness, the absolute tomfoolery of calling the hashtag believe her, a believe all women thing, a right-wing canard, when it's coming mainly from left-wingers. Oh, look, I can look at the Twitter echo chamber. Other than Trump fans chuckling about the legacy media covering for Joe Biden when he's got allegations against him that would have sunk people's career in any other situation, you know, happening to be the Democratic nominee, technically only presumptive nominee still, he's got a Poroshenko problem, it appears, at the moment. I'm looking into that, don't worry. The hypocrisy of covering for him uniquely out of all of these other people. Look, they even threw Al Franken under the bus. Al Franken was a high-ranked Senate Democrat. Of course, with him, you also had photographic evidence of him touching somebody inappropriately. And then you had shenanigans involving his team supposedly, apparently making up fake claims about the legal team for the claimant, as though she had explained that she was asleep and it was part of a skit. That came from his own team, and it never even came from her or her legal team. That was the most dirty shenanigans ever that I ever saw, and it never even got any traction. I wonder why the legacy media didn't report on it. So he gets tossed under the bus. He's a Democrat. Weinstein, long-term liberal donor. He's predominantly a liberal figure within politics, with a lot of friends. Of course, Weinstein, the dude in every other fucking 80s and 90s film, is producer. But anyway, they finally found someone where they won't hashtag believe her. They don't believe Tara Reade, and they're dragging her through the mud in such a vicious, vicious manner. It's like you never would have done this a couple of years ago. You would have crucified any legacy media. If a media outlet had said this sort of thing 2 years ago involving any other political figure, they would have gone nuts. Then they would have had a field day saying, well, this is a rape apologist broadcast now. This is a rape apologist newspaper. They would have crucified them. It's the hypocrisy primarily that concerns me more than anything else. And yes, again, absolutely. Trump fans do like to chuckle about the differential treatment between Donald Trump and the Billy Bush tape, or Donald Trump and Stormy Daniels, which was a consensual encounter at the time involving basically a prostitute. they do chuckle about the fact that this was treated as though Trump was scum of the earth. He's a rapist. He's a horrible man. We can't elect him because of the Billy Bush tape. He said, grab her by the pussy. And yet you have Joe Biden with an active allegation of sexual assault. In fact, several allegations. You have an allegation that he was oogling a 14-year-old at one point, specifically her breasts, and making an inappropriate comment about that. And then you have not allegations, but you have enormous reams of photographic and video evidence of him schmoozing with people in a way that's making them visibly uncomfortable. You have actual evidence of him acting consistently with at least the more minor claims against him. We have evidence of that. We can prove that this happens. He even self-admitted to it. I'm a very tactile person. And we get this instead. This is the second time now that the New York Times has come out to rush to his defense on this issue. This is a big problem for him. When I look at the things that are happening with Joe Biden, between his digital problem, his allegations problem, the fact that he can't stand toe-to-toe to Trump in any meaningful way, and also now the potential of this explosive Poroshenko call coming out, getting leaked, and I'm still looking into that again. I don't know if the dude's going to make it. The Democrats might actually have a feasible path to brushing him aside and jerry-rigging someone else in as the nominee. They could actually pull that off. It wouldn't be Bernie or anything like that. It'd be another neoliberal, maybe Elizabeth Warren or something. That'd be so funny. Oh my God. I mean, it would sink their ambitions. They would lose handily. But it'd still be funny now, wouldn't it? Oh, and I'm having a field day, but looking at that, I mean, looking at the way in which the legacy media has found one person who will be uniquely coddled when there's an allegation or any other problem. Trump says one wrong word, and they make 10 articles about how he's psychologically disturbed. Joe Biden can't even string a sentence together in the average rally, digital rally, of course, and they call it a conspiracy theory to claim that he's in cognitive decline. He's a 78-year-old man. They treat Joe Biden far differently than they treat any other living human being, especially anyone who's within politics, including, at some points, other Democrats. That's about all. Peace out. If I can get this to work with the cat on it, actually.